In Season 19, the infamous Divinity nerf was implemented into the game, making Divinity go from a 30% debuff with a free crit spot to a 15% debuff, still with a free crit spot. This opened the doors and gateways for Tractor Cannon to shine once again, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video, as Tractor Cannon is now the only gun in the game that can provide the 30% debuff. Obviously Tether can as well, but that is an entire super. When the tether falls off, you would have to A, have another tether on standby, or just keep going without it. Whereas with Tractor Cannon, when that falls off, you just shoot the boss again and reapply the debuff. Now maybe for some bosses it might be a bit tricky to apply the debuff, but let's be real here, most days you can get away with applying Tractor Cannon to just about any boss in this game. The worst they'll do is just stomp you, in which case you could try and time your melee to cancel out getting stumped all the way into Narnia. And when you compare the Tractor Cannon to the old Divinity, right, even then, that person with Divinity, they're committed to that laser beam. You may have been able to get away with throwing a grenade or shooting a rocket in between reloads, but for the most part, your div player isn't really gonna do anything for damage. Whereas with the Tractor Cannon, you're not locked into only shooting the Tractor Cannon to apply the 30% debuff. You pop the enemy with the Tractor Cannon, swap to your other weapons, and just start going to work. Meaning your teammate in a fire team for a raid or a dungeon who's using the Tractor Cannon can put out some damage themselves and not just relying on everybody else doing the deeps. Now let's talk about some weapons and abilities that are really good to go ahead and use with the Tractor Cannon if you are the person using it for your fire team. Or maybe you're in a solo run, I don't know. Anyways, for weapons, I do recommend a double special loadout. An auto-loading spike grenade launcher is really good. Maybe like an empty vessel or a lingering dread. Of course, slug shotguns also work really well with the Tractor Cannon. I'm not really going to talk about sniper rifles with the Tractor Cannon because, well, Tractor Cannon is a shotgun, so any range you can shoot a boss with a shotgun, you can probably shoot the boss with another shotgun. And then my personal favorite would definitely have to be fusion rifles. There are so many good options out there for you to use. Of course, the main go-to is the Cartesian coordinate. For the kinetic slot, personally for me, my favorite one is the bait and switch deliverance. We literally just made an entire video on this yesterday. If you haven't seen it, you should totally check it out. But I know the community's favorite is definitely a Riptide with Chill Clip or Vorpal. Now for abilities, Tractor Cannon works really well with one-off supers. Think of like a Blade Barrage, a Gathering Storm, a Thunder Crash, and even the Golden Gun, just for a few examples. Just know that if someone in your fire team is using the Gathering Storm, that you can only apply one form of Jolt on the boss. So if you have two Gathering Storms in your fire team, it's kind of redundant, and that also goes for your Volt Shot weapons, so just keep that little thought in the back of your mind whenever you are doing some juicy deeps and cooking the bosses. Now real quick, I do want to tell you all about my all-time favorite setup with the Tractor Cannon that we had once Void 3.0 dropped in Season 16, all the way till the release of Season 19. You are a Void Titan with the Bastion aspect. You would run the Worm God exotic gauntlets, some momentum transfer mods, weaken grenades, a 1-2 punch shotgun, and then a Tractor Cannon for your debuff, and you're basically able to apply yourself a lot, and I mean a lot, of stacking melee damage buffs, easily allowing you to bash an enemy for sometimes over 4 million damage, 8 million with Well of Ions. But that build is a relic of the past. Let me know your favorite setup to use the Tractor Cannon these days down in the comments below, and if you really don't use a Tractor Cannon and nobody in your fire team is, just throw it on, give it a try. Especially in a raid or dungeon setting, you can never go wrong with the Tractor Cannon, as the big debuff is juicy. Thank you for giving me about 4 minutes of your time today. That is a bit longer than normal, but hope you enjoyed the video. You guys take care, be safe, and we'll see you on the next one.